Did we play Gio's debut clip?
We didn't, but he spoke pretty glowingly about it. So we can hear that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Gio.
I haven't been really nervous for practice in a long time, but I was anxious to get out there today, and happy to get that one under my belt before the game tomorrow.
When you look at the logo, what comes to mind for you, Mark?
Oh, I mean, I grew up here, right? So it's been a team I've obviously followed my whole life. There's a lot of history, obviously, with this organization, but it's pretty special to be able to say that you're from here and you played for the organization.
How about coming home and being around family and that sort of thing, and having them close by?
Yeah, as you get older, you know, with children, it changes a lot in life, and you really cherish those moments, especially my, getting to see the grandparents. It means a lot to the kids, and obviously to my parents and my wife's parents. So it's cool. It's cool, and I want to take advantage of this. This is a great opportunity for myself.
Just once, I'd like to hear a guy say, when he's asked about the logo,
I don't know.
yeah, they haven't won since '67.
Yeah.
I suffered the worst loss in playoff history last year.
I wish we'd wear a black jersey.
Kyper.
Media runs you out of town.
Read the room, Kyper. No, you're right, though. It is funny. There may be the next generation of potential Leafs players may talk more like that. What does it mean for you to play for this team? Like, I don't know. They're in the NHL. This is pretty cool. But
hopefully that changes for Sammy and Leaf Nation.
Yeah, for sure. Gio,
Pajama boy.
He actually did. He talked extensively about the Leafs and their history, and someone asked him about what he remembers most, and he was like, "Well, 1993 in Game 6 when he was dialed into this stuff." So you've had it before. Nick Foligno came and said all of the cool things too. So I think everyone tries not to get too excited, but it is cool to have someone who's loved the Leafs from the beginning.
I lived it. I put that uniform on every time. When I pulled it over, I'm like,
"Did you have moments?"
Oh, my first moment. Pulling over the Leaf jersey.
Yeah.
My first game against the Dallas Stars, and I just had this 7-year-old feeling where I just opened up the box, the Eaton's box or Doug Laurie's sporting goods box, and there's my Leaf jersey I'm putting on.
It's cool. I will say, that is one experience I did get to have. I didn't play NHL regular season games, but I got an exhibition game and got to pull on the Islanders logo, same as my dad. And I grew up as a kid with and to just, one time be like, at least I made it here. I had a little tear in that moment, but
100%.
That's a cool experience. So good for Giordano.
And he's got over 1,000 games in the National Hockey League, and this one will feel so different.
Yeah, out of body experience. I him saying being nervous for practice. That's a weird, the media is there, and it's just like.
So as a guy who's grown up and been a huge Leaf fan when he was a kid, like Gio was, and he's always wanted to play for the Leafs, he gets to make his Toronto Maple Leafs debut, something he's dreamt of his entire life, and they will be wearing black Leafs jerseys.
Yeah, I guess that's probably not a little anticlimactic for the guy.
Let me ask you about this is something that we didn't get to yesterday, and I wanted to get your guys' take on it in terms of Kyle Dubas bringing in veterans. And he's been doing the veteran thing a lot over the past couple of years. You look at Foligno, you look at Simmons, you look at Spezza, you look at Thornton. But he brought in Giordano, another one staying into the theme of never really winning much at all. In terms of, he's been past the first round once in his career. I think he's only played 23 playoff games, 1,000 regular season games. That's a pretty big discrepancy. Is there anything to that? Do you guys care about that?
I don't. It's such a fine line, Sammy, and I think all of them have shown over their careers they're character guys in each way.
Yeah, can I run counter to this point and just say Jay Bouwmeester? Jay Bouwmeester played a bajillion games in the NHL, maybe 1,000 before he played a playoff game.
Yeah.
And then suddenly gets traded to St. Louis, and all of a sudden you get in the postseason. It's like it's still hockey, but they win a Stanley Cup.
It can be overrated until it's not overrated.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying that Jay got over the hump.
Right.
And
just was in the right position.
Sometimes the stars have to align. Sometimes it's key injuries that haunt you. Sometimes it's a bounce. And then you say, well, that guy doesn't know how to win. He's never won before. And it's just one of those things. Right place, right time.
I'm not saying he doesn't know how to win. I'm just saying that it's another guy that he's brought in
and has never experienced. Never experienced finding out what it feels like to win your last game of the season. So,
did you win on the way to the Stanley Cup? Did you win in junior? Or
I won in the
minor
American Hockey League.
You did.
Yeah, I won the Calder Cup.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence necessarily that there are people who tend to be on winning teams.
It's hard to quantify.
It is, but I can tell you, experiencing it for in the AHL and the Stanley Cup, it is a life altering. The way you feel and the way you feel about yourself
from the two leagues, or just in general.
Winning.
Yeah, winning.
Winning.
Yes.
Just standing there and knowing what it feels like, and to say that you've completed the lesson, you've graduated,
right,
and it kind of oozes off of people. You walk into a room, you feel different, and people notice, right?
Well,
There's that aura of winning.
Yeah, when I was with the Marlies in 2017 or something like that, we were down 2-1 or 3-1 to Albany. You know, it's the American League, not a huge deal. But Ben Smith was on the team, and Ben Smith had won a Stanley Cup with Chicago like a year before or 2 years before. And I remember hearing everyone talk in the dressing room, and it's frenzied and whatever. And he was just like, it's different. He was just so calm and so relaxed. And part of it was maybe it didn't mean as much. I don't know. But he really changed the tone with the way he spoke to everyone. He brought it down, the perspective and context back to like I don't know, just a normal level. Yeah. Having had been there before made a difference for the guys in the room. They did end up winning.
And it helps. It does. You do lean on these guys.
I think of a guy the guy that we always bring up, but a guy that I think of is Corey Perry. Seems to go deep in the playoffs every year. And he plays on good teams, but he always seems to be in there. It's a hard thing. It's a tough balance where it's, how much is the team, how much is the guy, but it's no coincidence he's always going deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And the guys just... If you get a chance to go talk to some of those guys on Montreal last year and just talk about that calmness or that feeling of even just dressing beside him for practice or going for a coffee or a team meal with him and just absorbing all of that in, it plays a huge factor.
Yeah.
And I look at Jake Muzzin and pretty sure played a strong role, supporting cast role, of course, in LA with Doughty there and Martinez and, of course, all the big boys up front with Kopitar, Brown, all the rest of them. But he needed to come in and just ooze all of that for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I think for the most part, he's tried his best.
Yeah, right.
But
if you're the only guy who's been there, it's
still... I don't think enough right now for some of these kids. It would have been nice to have maybe 2 or 3 more of these guys to kind of lean up on. I know we've probably beaten this up to death, but Corey Perry was right there for them on a couple occasions.
I do feel like, sometimes you just need a bounce or a break or two for some of these guys, for them to get through one and feel like you just got to get in the games and be close. We've seen eventually Washington broke through and won their cup, and eventually St. Louis, be good for a long time. I think that's the plan, that one year they'll get the bounces, 1 year they'll have a sense for this thing. And
I always joke that talking about hockey, we talk about this all year long, and then it comes into the playoffs and you get a goal off somebody's ass in game 7 and it's such a fluky game. So,
And you make a great point. You're not a winner until you're a winner.